So after you've finished your UCAT exam, you may be ready to collapse in a heap for all of the mental strain that you've just put yourself through. But hold off just yet, because if you're submitting an application to medical or dental school, there are still a few things that you need to pay attention to and actions that you need to complete before you can fully switch off. Yes, the medical and dental applications are grueling and they are relentless, but it's really important to not lose focus at this stage, because every single bit that you do along your journey from starting to actually starting your place at medical school is crucial. So you need to make sure you don't drop the ball at any stage and risk your chances of successfully getting in. So the first thing is to really think carefully now that you have your UCAT score about which universities you're going to strategically apply to. The UCAT score is one of many pieces of the puzzle, but it is a significant one that's going to make a big difference as to where you can go. Because different unis will use the UCAT score very differently. Newcastle have a minimum threshold, usually around the 2,820-ish mark. Or let's say you're applying for Aberdeen, where of those shortlisted, the average UCAT score was 2,760 last year. Or maybe King's College, where those who were invited to interview, the average score was 2,930. So don't make a silly mistake of applying to a university that if you have a certain UCAT score that is just basically not going to fit with their requirements, then do not waste one of your 4 precious places, whether it's medicine or dentistry, on that university. Now, depending on what stage you've sat your UCAT, you may be ready now to turn your attention to the personal statement. Ideally, on the Future program, we have these cooking along before we go into the whole UCAT mode, so that they're ready and kind of in a good position to start working on in a serious way, so that we can get them over the line in time for the application. But if you haven't been working on it, make sure that you do not leave your personal statement to the last minute. I know that not every single university factors in the personal statement, and there are plans for them to maybe change or alter the way they do it in the future, which have recently been postponed. But now today, still many universities really use your personal statement. And if they don't use it as part of the selection criteria, they will probably more often than not at least read it before your interview to get a flavor of who you are. And whether you believe it or not, it will dictate the tone and the pace with which your interview goes, because if they kind of get a flavor for you being a good candidate, they will give you a very different ride to whether they read something and you have upset them in some way, a bit like The Apprentice when they do the interviews there, and they will give you a much tougher time based on stuff you've said if you've not really given it the attention that it's due. Now, if you would like to find out how you can optimize your medical school choices, write the best personal statement, and if you're coming with enough time, get the UCAT score that you need to get into your dream university, I would strongly recommend that you check out our Future program, where every single year we get hundreds of people into their first choice medical and dental school. Another thing that you may still need to do after finishing your UCAT is to round off your work experience. This is something that on the program we make sure that we've taken and squared off well ahead of time, so that it is kind of parked and forgotten about until when we're going to write about it or we talk about it in interview, but it's something that we want to have ticked off. But there are some people that do leave it later and do have to kind of arrange it after the UCAT or perform it after the UCAT at least. And just bear in mind that a big chunk of that will probably be really important stuff that you want to talk about in your personal statement. So just factor in the timing around that and your preparation to make sure that the rest of your application accommodates this work experience if it's delayed. I recommend that you check out this playlist here if you are a medical applicant trying to work out how to get the best kind of work experience. But also we've done a dental version, which you can check out the playlist here for if you're trying to get dental work experience. Now, if you've squared all of those things off, you might want to start thinking about your interview preparation. Interviews are often mistakenly thought of as something that you spend a couple of weeks preparing just before you found out your date. But it's really important to prepare. Like I say, for people who I'm preparing with, we start immediately. Before we've even started our UCAT, our thinking about the interview, which is the final hurdle, starts then, because you have to get to the end and present yourself as the kind of person that is just so good that it's really hard for them to deny you a place at medical or dental school. So start thinking about your interview. Don't fall into the trap of underestimating it and thinking it's just a formality at the end. A lot of people I see who come to us for help is because they fell into that trap the year before. They got 4 interviews and not a single offer because all they did was think it was about the UCAT. Bear in mind that it is a rounded application. You have to show that you are good in all areas, that you're an all-rounder, that you can have a great UCAT score but write brilliantly about your experiences and show that you've got some great extracurriculars and all of the things that you do in your volunteering to show that you're a good person, you then have to perform well at interview. You have to choose medical schools that are going to suit your individual personality, so that basically you stack the deck in your favor and you set yourself up to be likely to win. So finally, if you've got a low UCAT score and you want to find out what to do with that, I recommend that you check out this video here. But otherwise, if you want our help and want to see how we can optimize your application in the 5 key areas of the med school and dental school application, I recommend that you check out this video here. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you over in one of those videos.